This morning, police are looking for the person who shot a woman along with a few cars and businesses in Arvada. Police said the gunshots came from a mobile home park across 53rd Avenue and Sheridan around 10:30 yesterday morning. Witnesses say the suspect was targeting a specific car, but the bullets went across the intersection and into businesses at a strip mall. A witness we spoke to, who doesn't want to show her face, heard an explosion. She realized it was the sound of a bullet hitting her car.
And I was like, oh my God, that's what the noise was. Like, did I just got shot? I know it's not only the hot dog place or the Zumba place or a Walmart or a movie theater. It's like, where can I go? Where can we go that is safe now?
Investigators are still working to figure out who the suspect is. The woman who was shot was taken to the hospital. She is expected to recover.
We now know the woman hit and killed by a University of Denver basketball player was driving for Uber at the time of the crash. Police say Coben Porter ran a red light while speeding and had the smell of alcohol on his breath. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us now live from the newsroom. And Courtney, he is accused of causing this deadly crash.
Yeah, that's right, Jordan. Good morning. Police say he did cause the crash that killed Katharina Rothman early Sunday morning. The passenger who was in her car was injured but survived. Uber confirmed that passenger was in the middle of an Uber ride at the time of the crash. Police say Porter was at fault. An arrest affidavit shows he was speeding, ran a red light, smelled of alcohol, and had slurred speech. 9 News legal analyst Scott Robinson says Uber would not be liable in this case.
While Uber and other companies make insurance available to passengers, they consider themselves an internet company, a distinction not all courts have accepted. And as such, they would not be liable because the drivers are independent contractors.
Coben Porter was arrested on suspicion of vehicular homicide. He has since bonded out of jail. The University of Denver says Porter is still a student and a member of the men's basketball team. DU Student Honor Code says violating any laws or causing harm to other people would be considered a violation and could result in expulsion. DU won't say at this point whether they are considering kicking Porter off the team or out of school.
And Courtney, we remember from the arrest affidavit a little bit earlier this week that it revealed that Coben Porter had denied a breathalyzer and a blood alcohol test.
Yeah, it also said in there that a police officer talked to him at the ambulance and he admitted to drinking that night. But you're right, he did deny doing the breathalyzer and a blood test, but prosecutors ended up doing that without his consent, and we should get results, a blood test results in a couple weeks.
All right, Courtney, thank you for your reporting this morning. We appreciate it. In our state's capital, Democrats are getting ready to introduce a bill that would ban the sale, manufacture, and transfer of so-called assault weapons.
It's a scaled-back version of an earlier leaked draft, which would have also banned possession of those guns altogether. The bill loosely defines assault weapons as any firearms that can fire a high volume of ammunition accurately or be modified to do so. That includes semi-automatic rifles with a detachable ammunition magazine and other modifications, as well as certain semi-automatic pistols. The proposal would ban sales of those weapons with exceptions for law enforcement officers and military service members. Residents who already own guns like this would be allowed to keep them. Democratic Governor Jared Polis has been lukewarm on the proposal. He says the state should take other actions like expanding red flag laws.
We specifically, looking at the data, believe that extreme risk protection order can work better. I do think as a nation we need to do more. There's limits to what states can do.
Lawmakers still haven't formally introduced the bill yet, and the gun rights group Rocky Mountain Gun Owners is already raising money for a lawsuit.
In Washington, Colorado's Republican Congressman Ken Buck is introducing a new bill that would ban TikTok in the United States. You wouldn't be able to download the app on any U.S. devices, and it would also ban businesses from working with TikTok's parent company ByteDance. Buck says the social media app is a threat to privacy and national security, saying it's being used to spy on Americans and gain access to users' phones. The bill likely won't pass through the current Congress. Last month, President Biden did sign a separate measure into law banning TikTok on government devices. Some states have restricted the app on government property, and some public universities have banned it on campus as well. State regulators are answering some questions about why XL bills are so high.
We know part of the reason is because the price of natural gas is higher, but our Marshall Zellinger had a chance to take some of your questions directly to the commission staff.
Susan in Denver writes, I want to express my concern with Excel's rate hikes. Excel is currently reporting record profits.
That is Erin O'Neill. She is the chief economist for Colorado's PUC, the Public Utilities Commission, which regulates companies like Excel. I took your questions to her following a PUC meeting where she helped present why your utility bills are so high.
Gas prices are about 40% higher this year than they were last year.
Natural gas is purchased by Excel, and that cost is passed down to us, dollar for dollar.
At what point can the PUC say, that was a bad business decision, you have to eat the cost for that? Like, you should have planned better. I know it's dollar for dollar, not this time.
If the commission staff found a problem and felt like there was something the utilities were doing that was not prudent, they would bring that to the commission and say, we need a prudence review. We want to look at these costs. That is very rare.
O'Neill said that utility companies like Excel provide the PUC a gas purchase plan, explaining how much gas they plan to buy long term, how much they plan to buy daily, and how much they plan to store. Then that gets compared after the fact with a gas purchase report to see how that all went.
We do review those in pretty close detail. And I've never seen like a disconnect between what public service purchases at and the market price or something like that.
One of the most popular questions we got is about Excel profits. Through 3 quarters of 2022, Excel had ongoing earnings of almost $650 million. It's a topic one of the PUC commissioners brought up in this morning's meeting.
One of the missing links in your presentation was what's the historic record on Excel's profits and dividends and stock buybacks.
Well, when commissioners like John Gavin approve the rates we pay Excel, it turns out we're not just paying them back for what they call investments, like transmission lines or a new power plant. We're also paying them extra for profit.
There are things that the commission says, no, that's not a cost that you're going to recover from Colorado ratepayers, or that's a cost that will be shared between ratepayers and shareholders, things like equity compensation for executives. We review those costs to determine how much of those can be recovered from Colorado ratepayers.
Marshall also asked if the PUC has ever said no to a rate increase. O'Neill says it only happened once in the last 5 years. That's because rate increases include a lot of line items, and so the PUC can say no or reduce parts of the request without rejecting all of it.
And as far as our weather goes, how about your weekend? We'll take a look at this. On Saturday, 31 degrees and 8 degrees for the low with snow showers. But look at your Sunday, 18 degrees and the low 3 below zero with those snow showers.